morning. Let's see if we are on live. I'm checking right now.
We are live.
We are live. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I see us on the screen now. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. If you are in California, you know we have a fire going on. And unfortunately for me, when there's a fire, it triggers my asthma. So my voice is a little raspy. I already did what I needed to do to hopefully clear my lungs a bit, and hopefully it will not be a problem. But just in case, my husband here will gracefully take over if he needs to. I'm Rebecca and my husband,
JD Atkins.
and together we form Dual Dragons. We are holistic wellness consultants, also known as the Muscle Whisperers. And what's different about us, we work within the massage therapy umbrella, but we are beyond massage therapy. We really use and implement many modalities and techniques, special tools that we have under our belt to be able to help our clients get the best results as soon as possible, especially if they've been experiencing chronic pain, because we look beyond the pain, beyond the physical pain. If it's of something emotional, spiritual, energetic, we look at everything and anything, any possibility that may be causing that pain. And if there's any message within the muscle, we retrieve it and help it process it for our clients. So that's a little bit about us. And we've been around for 2 years. We've been therapists before that for longer, but as Dual Dragons, we've been together for 2 years. It all started when my sister got diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And that's how JB and I together formed Dual Dragons and saw how the results we gave her and realized that it was a special connection between us that formed beautifully. And from that friendship and co-worker status, we are now husband and wife, and a beautiful relationship emerged from that. And so together we've been on this journey, and because of COVID, things came to a stop. And then all of a sudden it's like, how do we continue helping our clients when we can't really touch them or sometimes be near them? And during meditation back in September, I got a vision and a message that the Healers Roundtable needed to form. And as I was getting the message, I could see the knights of the round table forming as they would plan and protect the kingdom. And I saw healers, all of us healers coming together and making a plan and networking, figuring out a way to continue servicing our clients, whoever's in need, but at the same time helping them and guiding them form their own pillar, their own process, because we are all healers within. Each one of us has the gifts to be able to heal. Our bodies, the minute we are born, comes with the immune system ready to help you in anything that you need to process to heal on your own. So that's just a little bit about us. We have done several courses. In October, we did the 7-day chakra cleanse, which was to help us ground, guided from my spiritual guides. And then from there in November, my spiritual guides helped me and guided me for the second course, which is how to connect to your spirit guide through meditation, which connected us to our higher source. So now we have that pillar of connection. And now we are looking within ourselves. So this course in December is about spiritual connections with yourself, with your partner, children, and then family and community. But right to this first 3 days, it's about ourselves. And then tomorrow we will start with other relationships.
And just a friendly reminder to other healers, just kind of be more vulnerable. Like this last event, unfortunately, where there was a major fire and really trigger Rebecca's asthma. We did use our tools, and we recognize this asthma is triggered from past life or through her soul of being suffocated through a fire. And so anytime ashes or something similar to that is triggering those moments, she has those asthma attacks or asthmatic experiences. Like, yes, we have the tools, and at the moment, there's only so much I could do, even as her soulmate, as a partner, to be there as a safe space, and we're able to adjust some of it so it's not as crumbling for her. Because when she's ready, she'll do the deep work to remove the root, so that minimize to maybe completely remove her asthma reaction to fire or smoke in the air. Again, what you could do is provide the space, be the guidance, and allow your clients, your customer, or yourself do the work.
So with that, so today again, we're going to talk about spiritual connection with yourself physically. And the notes that I wrote down that I was listening was, how do you move your body? What things do you do to move, to flow within the energy, within what's happening, like me right now? What am I doing physically to deal with my asthma? And sure enough, the next one is focusing on my breath. So I'm taking very deep belly breaths right now. And as you can hear me, I've softened my voice. I'm calming myself. If you guys could see my desk, I have my diffuser, eucalyptus, my water, my tea. I'm doing everything I can to make sure I am zen and processing at the same time and breathing. And then I'm checking with yourself regularly. And that's something I've been doing. The minute I woke up, I knew something was off. And I checked in. Okay, where am I at? What can I do to stop this, to process it, and deal with whatever I have to deal with this time? In the last fire, I was able to deal with it. It didn't get as bad as it usually does. So I'm pretty sure that this time will be the same process where I'll be able to just kind of flow with it and get out of it as I process things and get to like the root, what my husband said, get to the root and hopefully be able to pluck it out. So with that, I just want to introduce Vanessa Gibson. And so she is an intuitive empath, energy healer. We have her site there and her phone number. If anything that she says today resonates with you and you feel like, you know what, let me reach out to Vanessa, you could find this information on our Facebook Healers Roundtable page. After the recording, it will be there. Our recordings, we always put our recordings in a units tab, and we put all that information in our units tab too. So if you can't find it on our page, it will be on our units tab, and even in the events page, all their information is there. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop sharing and hand over the microphone to Vanessa.
Hello. Hope you guys are all having a good morning. So great to be here. I'm so honored to be a guest speaker in this wonderful course. I mean, awesome divine timing to be offering a course during the holidays and during a pandemic, ways for us to really reconnect to our spirituality and our higher selves so that we can have more space to be with our current environments. I think this is a really awesome timing and awesome course you're offering. So thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this. Today I'm been given the guest speaker for day number 3, and today we're focusing in on spiritual connections physically with our physical bodies. And at first, when I got the note of what I'd be working on, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be interesting. Okay, let me figure out how we can do this. And then it dawned on me, like, this is perfect, a perfect topic for me to speak of because I'll give you a little bit of my story, a little of my background. Um, right, I grew up in California and I was a very sensitive child, very aware, very psychic. I just didn't know. I thought there was something wrong with me, and um, I was just different and weird and just so oversensitive. Um, and then as I grew older, I pursued athletics. So I was a professional surfer and always doing swimming and anything to do with the ocean and water. And I was working towards becoming a professional surfer to travel the world and also be a lifestyle model. But I came into a deep depression in my I think it was around 18, 17, 18, and just went down and completely gave up my careers and gave up my pursuits. And that's what actually entered me into my healing journey, though, was I went down and I went through the cocktails of medicines they want to put you on. And, it wasn't working. I was just like, something's unsettled. And I had such a dear care for people and for the world and the things going on. And I was just so aware. And I had these deep questions and this deep yearning to contribute in some way, even though I had this sense of, I just kind of want to be gone. I can't do this. So it entered me into looking into trades because my dad's a plumber and I always liked the self-employment look in life, the entrepreneurial look. And I asked him, I said, well, maybe I can just become a plumber. I'll just work with you. It'd be great marketing, And he's like, no, that's not going to happen. Just go ahead and find another trade. So when I was looking for trades, I thought, let's look at plumbing. I really like how you show up, people call that there's something going on. He shows up, he's able to get things flowing again, and then everyone's happy. And so it helped me realize, well, what in life and where in life can I help things flow with more ease? And so I found massage. So I went into massage school, became a massage therapist, and started studying just the energies of the body and discovered my gifts that when I touched people's bodies, I could see what was happening inside. And I was hearing things about from their loved ones who had passed. And I was just getting so much information. And I thought, ooh, maybe I need to go a little beyond like massage. So I've been studying for the last 20 years, I think, in the subtle energies and consciousness and how to actually effectively help people transition or transmute energies. And it's been a really exciting journey. But I thought it's so interesting being asked to talk about physical when my spiritual connection really does come from a very physical space. That's my first place, my most resourceful place that I can reconnect and ground. Being an empath, we're very, very aware and very vulnerable to just energies in general. So I needed and I learned certain tools to help me just be settled personally with my awareness. And nature and using my body are the most resourceful things I've found. So the first thing I think that's so fantastic about our bodies is that everything about them can bring us back to the present moment. The moment we focus on our body, it brings us present. And that's where spirit is. That's where our presence is. That's where we truly are and be. So I find that the physical body is the easiest tool. We can start with breath. You can start with touch. You can listen to something. Any of your senses immediately get you in the present moment, which is where the spirit is. That's our connection. So I feel working with the physical body, whether it's through exercise, grounding, breathing, meditation, there's so many different tools we can discover and different ways we can work with our bodies to help them, or as they facilitate us in reconnecting with our spirit, our true being, just our isness, I guess I'd call it. So I'm really excited because I've had a story with my body. With my depression, I went into this deep eating disorder. So I had, viewed like very skewed views of my body and have a beautiful body and I kept thinking it was ugly or it was fat or it wasn't performing, it wasn't, it was all these things it should do. And over this course, I've discovered that my body's like my best friend. Like this is the thing that it's the vessel I can do anything I want. This body helps me facilitate that. I just think it up, I dream it up, and then it's just like, okay, body, pull it in. How are you going to do this? And it's become one of the most fun relationships I actually have is the relationship with my body, and having allowance for it to be and do what it needs to be and do, and that it is always working in my best interest. So I would love to, and part of my work I like to do is invite people into re-examining a relationship with your body. I know that Rebecca had mentioned that tomorrow in this series of courses, they're going to be working on going into relationships with other people. So I thought, oh, I'm so excited that today, before we enter in the world of working with other people, other relationships, let's work with our relationship with not just our emotional, physical, and mental, but our actual physical bodies is a really, really, really important and special relationship we have access to. And it's one that I find is the easiest way to reconnect, to be present, become back to that spiritual place. So what I found in this time with 20 some odd years of recreating a relationship with this body was that the body there's a language that the body speaks, and it's a subtle language. It's quiet usually. Sometimes it will yell at you and scream or throw a complete fit, usually when we're not listening. But I found that I call it the language of energy, and the body also speaks this language of energy. And every one of us has a specific dialect, a very unique accent. So what I may have as far as how I talk with my body may sound or look different than how someone else would talk with their body and their relationship and the way they receive communications. But in general, the body is always talking to us. It's always giving us feedback. It's like our perfect little friend who's constantly processing for us and constantly like, hey, did you check this out? I'll hold that. I'll deal with this later. You go ahead and focus on that. It's like having the best little assistant you could ever sign up with. And but it's important that as you have this assistant working with you and you're connected with them 24/7, that you give it space to speak. You take time to listen to it. And then also it's a relationship. So it's not always about what we want from our bodies. It's about what our body would like as well. What is our body asking us for? What is our body trying to tell us? What does our body know? What is it aware of? Because it is aware on so many levels. It can perceive so much more information than we are mentally even processing or even willing to perceive. So I suggest, starting to ask questions, wake up in the morning and like, okay, body, how are you feeling today? What would you like to do? What would you like to eat? What would you like to wear? Because the body's not me. It is just this vessel that I get to, participate with. And I love to ask it questions. And then as the more you practice, the more you begin to understand how it's responding, what its voice sounds like for you. You just go look, what would you like to wear? You go to the closet and you look at your options, and it's just like sometimes I'll get a picture. My language is very visual, my subtle senses. So sometimes I'll just get a picture of an outfit. I'm like, oh, that feels good. Or oftentimes my body does not want to wear clothes. It wants to wear a bathing suit. It just is what my body really likes, but that's not always appropriate. So I have to sometimes convince it to pick some jeans, pick out a different outfit. Like, here, let's go and try things on and be willing to change, even change clothing in the morning if I'm just not feeling feeling my best. I don't feel comfortable. If it feels comfortable, I honor my body and say, okay, let's try something else. What else would be great? Instead of like, oh, my jeans are too tight, or I did, or they're hanging or whatever. I don't judge it. It's like, oh, well, it just doesn't feel the way I would like to feel. So let's try something else. And it's a great tool to use in any relationship, is being willing to show up without judgment and to ask questions and be willing to pivot. But it's super fun and important to do this with a relationship with your body. And so that's one area, is like clothing. Other areas you can work is really the body needs fuel. So I find that food tends to be one of my main stressors. Like, I don't want to think about it. I don't have time for it. It's just like, oh God, just put it in so I can move on with my life. But it also is the invitation for one of my deepest invitations to my spiritual self. When I have this much resistance to something, I found that tends to be a doorway to so much depth and healing, and or just, it feels oftentimes like the resistance is like a barrier, but it's like once I go beyond the barrier, there is so much peace. So I found like sitting down and taking time to ask my body what it would like to eat, and go ahead and trust it, give it a choice. Like, I'll grab a menu at a restaurant and go. And usually I'd be like, oh my God, I'd be that annoying person you'd have at lunch with you who just couldn't decide what they want to eat. And finally now I go, okay, I look at the menu. The first thing I see, I just order it. I don't question it. I just go, okay, my body knows what it wants. I'm just going to feed it. And then usually I get in and I go, oh my God, this is so good. I would have never guessed this. I would have never tried to eat this. And it's been so fun to build this trust of, this is an area that, first off, I don't have to stress and think about. We have so many things going on in our world right now that any place that we can release some of the mental turmoils, I feel it's like, now's the time. Let's find tools to let this go, because we need to be able to just flow, right? Massage is about flow. Plumbing is about flow. We want our inner energy, our fluids to be flowing. We want our thoughts to be flowing. So I find little tools like, and little exercises, even though it's not about your, body and energy, but it's building that trust. It's building that ability to just make a choice and let it go. Doesn't have to be all this thought around it. It can just be trust life. Like, just choose it. And if it doesn't work out, choose again. You can always send the food back to the kitchen, or you can order something else. It's not, you're not limited, but let's just take the choice. So I thought, well, sure, I'm going to play the game. I'll just take a choice of, there's the first thing I saw. I think my body wants it. That sounds good. We'll grab it. And it just leaves so much more room to be present and enjoy, the time with whoever you're with, or that listening to the birds, sitting in the sunshine while you wait for your food, whatever it is, you get to be there. And it turns off this constant distraction that we have going on as humans, and especially as people who, like all of you, who are very sensitive and aware. Our distractor gets turned on very high. It's like it's constantly on 180, and we don't know where the dial is. So sometimes we can imagine a dial. You can turn your dial down to 60 and adjust it as you need. That's always a good trick and tool you can do. But I like to do exercises like picking my clothes, like picking the food out, just making choices and not trying to judge or limit myself and expect what it's going to do, so that I become more in the habit of living open, living in flow. My gosh, if the thought came through, maybe I'll trust it, or maybe I'll look at that and go, that feels about right. I'll just try it. Oh, that didn't create what I wanted. Okay, well, I have a different point of view though. Maybe we could try it this way. And it just opens up so much space in our internal world. But I feel our bodies are our main big tools we can use as exercises. So, and then it usually tends to exercise our physical body. So for instance, breathing, that's a very big important process in our body physically, like anatomically. The deeper we breathe, the healthier our body is. Yes, we in turn get the nice relaxation, we feel clear, or we can calm down. Those are side effects, but our body, like, it requires that process. So I've loved that it's a contribution. When my body asks for something, I receive something. When I ask something of my body receives something. It's this beautiful contribution, this beautiful relation where we're in communion and everyone's receiving and giving without, like, with space, no judgment, just space. And I like to play in that arena. More of that, please. More of that space and peace. And it could be fun because I'm curious instead of I have to and I should. Because boy, I've lived that. I do live that sometimes, and it's just not as fun. Honest, it's just not as fun. So, yeah, I think it's really a great place. So, if you get anything out of today, pat yourself on the back and be grateful for your body, and maybe be open to discovering a little bit more in that relationship, of how maybe it could be your best friend. It really can help you have a much deeper spiritual connection. And take it on walks, go out and hike, go out in nature. Because again, when you receive the wonderful things from nature, your body's receiving too, and the earth is receiving, and the life, everybody's in movement. We want to keep things flowing. So anything that's fun for you, dancing, yoga, stretching, breathing, grounding, walking around barefoot. Oh, it's just the best. Go walk in the sand on the beach. It's like, it's my happy spot, right? I'm surfing, so I like to, I have to surrender. And my husband was a professional football player, and he always tells me, it's just be an athlete, be an athlete. And so it's like maybe a wave's coming and I'm out surfing and I'm like, oh, it looks a little big, or it'll just close out and be this big, like, roar. I don't really want to get messed up. I'll wait for the perfect little wave that I know I can, make a really good ride on. And instead, he's like, just be an athlete, just do it. And so I'll like take off. And sometimes I'll surprise myself. I'm like, oh my God, I would have never gone, but that was so great. I just, whatever, got barreled or had a great turn or whatever they want to say. But it's like, if I'm too much in my head, I'm not being an athlete. I'm not allowing that connection of let my body know. It knows what to do. It knows what it needs to eat. It knows what it needs to heal. It knows who it needs to talk to, where the business is. It knows the connection. It knows where the money is. Let the body come in the world, in your world, and help you. It's here to help you. So every time it's trying to talk to you, you get those subtle nudges, your knee's starting to hurt. Well, what's going on with your knee? Talk to it. What do you know, knee? What are you trying to tell me? What's going on there? Who does this belong to? Is this even my pain? Are we aware of someone's pain? Is it even pain? Is it just energy? Is it stagnant? Do I just need to move? Or maybe I'll walk away and give myself 20 feet. Maybe it goes away. Oh, maybe it wasn't mine. I'm just aware of people's stuff. Thanks, body. Thanks for letting me know that maybe I could be more comfortable if I just picked my body up and moved it a little bit. Now I have more space to be comfortable. No judgment. Doesn't matter if I'm picking up on other people's stuff or I have to, move it and change it. It's not even mine, so I can't do anything with it, but I can do something with me. So our bodies help us be self-responsible too. They're always talking to us, and that helps us be responsible if we're listening, because then we know I have that gut feeling I probably need to go to the doctors, or I need to go see someone, or I could really use a massage. I could really use some extra hydration today. Listen to those things. That's the body giving you the perfect prescription. It's the one who knows, right? And the more we get connected with that through subtle speech, the conversations we're willing to have with it, through quieting our mind in meditation or grounding, also running our energy is a great way to keep things flowing. These are all things that we can do with our physical body to help help keep us healthy, but also to stay present, which is our spiritual connection, is here in that present moment, to be here and be willing to experience everything that is right now in every now moment. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I'm really open to hear though what other people, what you guys might do. If you have any questions about if anything I've mentioned you isn't clear, you'd like more information on, because you know there's infinite information we can expand on.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do right now is we'll go ahead and go into gallery view. And so that way everyone could see each other. And if there's any question, anyone of that is not on on video, if you would like to put yourself on video, unmute yourself, you could unmute yourself now if you have any questions that you might have. Someone.
So there's a few of them that unmuted themselves. First one I recognized was Stacy. If you want to ask the first question, go ahead.
I don't really necessarily so much have a question as I was just observing and kind of taking in what Vanessa was saying. And it was just very encouraging to hear the way that she recommends, staying connected with our body and nurturing it essentially. So I just appreciate what she shared, I'd like to say.
Oh, thanks, Stacy. I'm glad it was a contribution to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Definitely, I resonated with what you were saying, Vanessa, about how your body tells you, like just like right now, I woke up with my asthma. My body's talking to me. It's telling me like, hey, I don't like this. I don't like fires. It's telling me what it does not like, and it does not like fires. And I've always known that. And like what I was telling you, just being able to listen to it and talk to it and say, okay, what is it about the fire that gets you so worked up? And coming to that spiritual work within myself, realizing that it's coming from a past life that did not get that, what would you call that, the peace it needs to be able to move on, or whatever I need to learn from it. And so just being able to process that, and like you said, talk to your body and just say, oh, thank you for the awareness. That statement, I love saying that
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm working on myself or I'm working on clients. Because like I said, when I'm working on clients, I'm an empath too. I feel everything. If they have a headache, I all of a sudden get a headache. If they're nauseous, I will get nauseous. If they're feeling a strong pain on their right side, I will feel that pain on that right side. And I'll ask them like, the pain is greater on the right side, correct? And they're like, yeah, how do you know? I'm like, I could feel it. I could feel exactly where the pain is coming from. And as I'm working on them, I'm making them aware. And at the same time, I'm saying, thank you, body, for making me aware of my client's pain, but this is not mine to take. I need, I need to return it. Just thank you for making me aware. I don't need it because I need my body now to be able to help this person. And that's very powerful when you're able to do that. And it's like, it's amazing how it just all of a sudden all these little aches and pains start dispersing. And then the client feels that too. They're like, whoa, what did you do? All of a sudden the pain's going away. And I'm like, because it became aware, and now the body's happy with you because you know what's happening. You're aware of it. And now you know what to do. And it's because the body's talking to you. It's trying to tell you, hey, I need you to pay attention to me now. I need this from you. And if you're not paying attention, it'll just keep getting stronger and strong until the message is loud and clear. Like, hello, do something.
Definitely. The next person I recognized that came out from mute was Bara. Would you like to ask a question now? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Vanessa, for sharing with us. I really appreciated it. One question I have is like in the I mean, now it's probably pretty natural for you, I'd guess, but in the beginning, how did you distinguish between like what your body was saying versus like what your thoughts were saying?
Good question.
That's a great question. That is one, it's literally a moment to moment practice. So this is how I kind of explain, like, I feel my belief, my perspective is that we're all very psychic. We're all very aware. We all have extreme senses and subtle senses. So we're always picking up on things, but whatever, like through life experiences, and everyone's different, we start shutting them off or kind of pulling them in, tuning them out. As life kind of shows us things, we go, ooh, I'm gonna have to be this way. I don't like the way that feels. I'll turn that off. Or that's too scary. I don't know what to do with that. And so I feel like, some people come in and they're just wonderful pianists naturally. There's some people that are wonderful basketball players. They just naturally have they're just like, oh, they're a natural. And with the subtle senses, energy, and awareness, that was just, I feel, something I just naturally came in with strong. But I spend a lot of time, like I am an athlete within this arena, I spend a lot of time daily exercising. I have to keep up my my sport. I have to keep up those muscles need to be trained. So I've found that over the years, I've had to use many different training tools. So at first it was shut them down and judge myself. Oh, must be weird. I must be different. There's something wrong with me. Don't feel that. Don't say that. Don't cry. And then as it got so apparent that there was so much going on, that I was in this deep depression and trying to literally stop living, like just cut life out, because that was all associated with these feelings and these senses and these awares and all these thoughts, and having to hear what the person's thoughts are at the grocery store when they're checking out your groceries. It's just like, like, why am I even thinking about peacock feathers? Like, oh, this lady has peacocks at home and she's worried about feeding them when she gets there or whatever. So it's been a journey, but it's been something that with every little exercise you do, you build, you don't go backwards. So the more and more, it's like it gets lighter and lighter, and it feels good. So it keeps pulling you into the practice. So there's so many tools and ways we can exercise this. The beginning, when I first started, mainly came through journaling. I was journaling, and I started realizing when I would start writing, it was just like this whole different, like I'd want to start out real negative and say all I'm this and that, and I don't feel good and my body's bad and whatever. And I'd noticed that as I was writing, it would start changing to this whole new outlook, this whole new positive. And I realized, oh, wow, like I'm just receiving this healing energy when I write. So that's a tool that I really started open me up into going, there's something else I'm aware of. There's something else going on here that can help me. And then I went into massage, and in massage school, putting my hands on bodies, with the practice of over and over realizing I was picking up a lot of information, I began to play a little. So the tool was, in my mind, I'd get curious. I'd start asking, well, okay, let's see, if I see these little white circles inside the heart chambers, well, I wonder if I just keep looking at them, are they going to change? Are they going to move? I just started questioning in my mind, and then I would notice things would shift. I'd think thoughts, I'd hear thoughts, and I'd just sit with them and I'd just observe them for a little bit before I might bring it up to the client on the table or whoever was around me. I'd just be with them and see, did it shift? And I'd start getting asking questions like, who is this? is this my mind? Is this not? I had to consciously, in my mind, it was quiet, but make space to begin to be working with the awareness, to begin to be conscious and going, okay, hold on. I'm overwhelmed. What's going on here? Where am I feeling this in my body? Who does this belong to? Is this mine or is this something else? What am I aware of? Okay, now that I have that information, okay, I'm aware of something going on in my lower left abdomen. What does it really feel like? Let me feel that. Let me sense it. Okay, my sensing is I see something, I'm feeling something. Okay. Can I move that? Can I change that with my intention? Yeah, the more I look at it, it starts to dissipate. Okay. And then I'll notice a shift, like kind of like Rebecca was mentioning. And sometimes I can ask the client, so what's going on in your lower abdomen? Oh, I don't know. It's really tingly right now. So I thought, oh, interesting. So it's become it was a place where I began to play. I did begin through with kind of working with people on massage and bodies on massage tables. So if maybe that's not necessarily everyone's opportunity is to have a body to play with, I suggest doing it with yourself because it's all in us anyways. You're the little receiver. So start with things that you're feeling, the things that are stressing you out, the symptoms your body might be telling you. Like for instance, is there anything going on? Let's play an example if you're open to it. Is there anything going on that you're sensing in your body that maybe you would like to shift?
I feel tension like in my upper back.
Okay. So upper back. So I want you to take a deep breath and just kind of bring your awareness there. So just feel it. You don't have to do anything. Just feel that tension. What does that tension feel like? Just start sensing it. And as you're sensing it, just see, does it have a color? Is it moving? Does it throb? Is it sharp? Is it just stuck? So just start sensing and observing it. And then taking a deep breath. So I feel like it's coming up towards the chest too a little bit. And just as you're noticing it, is it, if it could talk, what would it say? That tension in the back.
Yeah, I'm tight. I want to move.
You want to move?
Yeah, I'm tired of being stuck in the same position. Feel kind of locked in place.
You're kind of all over the place?
Kind of locked in place.
Oh, locked in place. Nice. And so that's kind of the sensation of the energy that's in the shoulders. It's locked in place. It's tight. It wants to move, but it wants to release out of that environment, that space, that way of being.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Okay, and so what if we asked your upper shoulders, that tension, that energy, that tension, how would you like to be? Show me how you would like to be. How would you like to sit, shoulders? How would you like to feel? And then allow your body physically, if it decides to kind of like breathe or move or whatever it needs to do, but just ask it, well, how would you like to be? What needs to move? What needs to give you, how much space would you like? What kind of space? What kind of sensation would you like?
Yeah, I feel like I can tell what it wants.
And if you had words for that, what would that be?
It wants to like expand more. Yeah, to like, it wants my chest to open up. Yeah, it's not really like that's where it needs to start. Like, it needs more space in front so that it has room in the back, I guess. If that makes sense.
Mhm. So if you're open, I'd like to do a quick little exercise with you.
Okay.
So I'll just ask, and everyone who is on the call can do this as well. It's not specific, for anyone. It's just kind of fun to play. Play along with us. So I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. Just relax into your body. Bring your awareness back into your shoulder area, into your body. And as you're kind of sensing that shoulder area, notice if it feels any different than it did when you first checked in with it a couple minutes ago. Just noticing any shifts or any changes. There's more space, there's less space, it's moved. Just being aware of it. And then now I want you to call back your energy from anywhere and everywhere that your energy and awareness is outside of you right now. So pulling in your energy, everything that's bar, bringing it in, letting it come through your head, fill up your body, out your feet, out your hands, back in, just filling all your energy back up in your body and your aura. Then I want you to go ahead and take your awareness. I want you to expand your awareness, expand about 15 feet in all directions. So as if you're just pushing a big bubble in all directions, and you're expanding it out 15 feet. Now I want you to expand that bubble out for the whole building that you're in, whether it's your home, a car, whatever your current work building, just expanding that so you take up that whole space of the building. That's where your energy bubble is. Now I want you to continue to expand. So expand your awareness so that you're out the whole city, on the whole city border. You're aware of the whole city. I want you to keep expanding. Expand out 100 miles in every direction. Keep expanding your awareness. Get bigger and bigger. Let it just keep going in all directions, through the ground, above your head, in all directions, out. Just keep expanding that bubble of awareness. So you're the whole United States. Keep going. Keep expanding so that now you're so big and so expanded that you can see the earth. So I want you to look down at the earth, or look at the earth, and just be aware. Notice what you see. What part of the earth are you looking at? Just noticing. I want you to keep expanding. I want you to keep expanding so you're going past the moon, you're going past the stars. Go expand, expand more and more and more. Get as big as you can. You to keep expanding until you just kind of are like, can breathe. How big do you need to get to just feel relaxed? Keep going. Now I want you to just be aware of your surroundings. What do you notice? What's the temperature like where you're at right now? What do you see? What do you feel? Do you hear anything? If you turned around and looked behind you, what's there? What do you notice? What do you feel like? Do you notice any sensation while you're out there, expanded? Now I want you to start coming back towards the solar system past the moon, where you can see Earth again. Earth is getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you get closer and closer and closer. Coming in towards the United States, North America. Coming in towards your location. The building. Coming back into that 15-foot bubble. Taking a nice deep breath, pulling all your awareness back into your body. Letting the energy run through your head, through your whole body, and out your feet. Breathing in through your feet, letting the energy run up your legs, up your body, out your hands, and out your head. Taking a nice deep breath. Settling in, and then bringing your awareness back to that shoulder area and just noticing. What do you notice? And when you're ready, you can come back to the room and open your eyes. Get situated. So how is your shoulders feeling? And you check in right now and sense them, Vara.
It feels better. It felt better even after the first, initially when you told me to check in and like see how it wanted to move, and I moved a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely like do feel like overall energetically different and like more expanded. Like even than I did then, like just from that practice that we just did.
And how was it when you went all the way out, as big as you went? What was it like for you there?
It was interesting because, well, and I like a couple of times I checked myself. I was like, I'm not sure if this is what she means. And then I realized like, I don't think that matters, but
It doesn't
I
matter,
felt
yeah.
kind of like physically like buzzy a little bit. You know, like I can feel my energy, like it felt like it extends beyond my physical body, like not that I could feel it through the whole world, but I could feel it through like, you know, several inches away from my physical body. And I felt like more open and connected to like everything.
Did you have pain
No,
or worry or stress?
no, I just felt good and like connected and like part of, I don't know, it was like this loving feeling that I had.
Awesome. The fun thing is that never goes anywhere. Now you have a baseline. So really when you feel that loving, that expanded, that infinite space and that buzz, just that life energy, you're just like, I just feel it. And it feels good and calm, but like good, I'm alive. That's you, that's your spirit, that's your energy. And that's always there. And now that you've had this like clear awareness and connection with it, that's your baseline. You can always sense that again. And you can always ask, okay, like what is it going to take to feel that? Or you can do the exercise where you expand out as far as you need to go and then come back in as far as you need to go to feel that sensation. And you can do that in a moment. You know, I mean, what's faster, thinking or knowing? Knowing. You can know yourself into an expanded place. You can know yourself into feeling that recharge, that presence, that spiritual connection, that energy. You just have to think of it and like, there it is, you're there. You know that feeling when I ask, what was it like? You were there. Oh, it was like this. That never leaves. That's what I'm seeing, where these practices build on each other. So that's one block that you have in this foundation. Like, you never have to redo that. Like, yay, wonderful, graduated that one, moving on. We can build with it. You always have that. And now it's like, well, now that I have that, what else is possible? Where else can I go? What else can I feel and sense and expand and be aware of and shift? So
Thank
good work.
Yeah, that's really
Awesome.
cool. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being willing to facilitate us with that.
We have one
Experience.
more question to squeeze in before we shut down the Facebook Live and go to our private session. Ezzy, thank you for joining us from Facebook. If you like to ask your question.
Hi, how is the sound?
Good.
Yes.
Good. Okay, thanks. I think that there can be such a thing as being in touch with the body and also being not in touch with the body. And because I am able to relate to the body and have it as a friend for sensing what's out there in the world, it is my compass for those things. When it comes to issues that are inside of my body, within it, so maybe we'd call that intra body relating, that is a harder loop for me to have the flow in. And so, I can go into spaces, I can be around people and see the stuff that's around them, the field, buildings, even Facebook groups or other groups, right away that comes. I also am somebody who's known to have all open chakras. That is my design. I'm a reflector. That's kind of how we are. And so I'm wondering if the block in my body is not living in the body, but in some other part of my being that is blocking the body, if that makes sense. That it isn't a physicality that's blocked because things I know are open.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I put in Facebook the type of pain I'm dealing with. One of them is my knee, which is a new pain. The other one has been a very long chronic. It's endometriosis and stabbing like knives kind of pain. It is truly the only time I've ever wished to leave the body and say, God, if you need to take me early, please do it, because it's beyond bearable and there's no medicine and I can't do surgery again. So the clarity that I've seen, it has not been my own. I feel like I'm cheating with saying this. It's only other people who have said, well, maybe that's creativity, and maybe that's passion for life, and maybe it's this, and maybe it's that. I have a lot of those things. I'm expressive in those ways very naturally. So if you have a hit on that, that's interesting. The other thing is, I'm not a parent, but I feel this insight came to me about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, that body is the closest thing to inner child personified. So, body is and I see this as general, in the world, it is the carrier. And so it is like I am not able to relate to my own child. I have a lot of guilt around that I am not able to communicate with the very being that is the most innocent and is the most native, to being uncomplicated, where the mind is, complicated. And so I'd love a pathway in. It has gone through so much suffering and so much pain, and it deserves better. That's where I'm at. And the knee, I kind of wish this wasn't recorded because I have to say something that's, hard for me to say in the world.
No, no problem. We could get off Facebook Live because it is 11 o'clock. We are doing a session next, which is not recorded. It's not on. So let's just say our goodbyes so that way we could attend to us and her and guide her. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and opening up, and we will honor your request. Go ahead and take off. Thank you, everyone. We will see everyone tomorrow. And
Thank you so much.
our Zoom, stay here. We are doing our private session now.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Remember, stay healthy and breathe
Thank
intentionally
you, Vanessa.
next time.